Welcome back to my channel. Although I currently have 0 views on my 2 videos that I've posted, so I don't know if anyone will actually be watching this, I guess. So that means welcome back me. But anyway, today we will be doing, or I will be doing, a forehead reading for Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn is an American comedian out of Louisiana and has been around for quite some time. He was born on March 19th, 1980, which makes him 41 years of age. His full name is actually Theodore Capitani von Kernatowski, or Vaughn for short. He often says his father is Nicaraguan, but when I was reading his Wikipedia, I think it mentions he is Polish as well. I vaguely recall someone telling a former co-worker in a previous workplace of mine that this guy's Vaughn name was attached to nobility somehow because of the Vaughn. And I think it is maybe Germanic or Austrian in origin. So maybe there were some aristocrats or nobility over there in Poland at some point. But I wonder if he would ever care to dig into the origins of his father's surname. He may have some royal relatives somewhere along the line, who knows. But anyway, I only discovered Theo maybe a week or so ago. I'm not sure what popped up, but I think it was Joe Rogan, which he's been on twice, I think. And somehow started watching his podcast stuff on YouTube and have been binge watching ever since. It's not often you find someone who will elicit gut-grabbing laughter from you, but Theo is one of those few, at least in his podcast anyway. When I began watching his podcast, I thought to myself, how have I never heard of this guy? I mean, I'm a stand-up enthusiast. How have I never seen anything about him before? Because Leo's kind of a veteran in the industry, having been around since the early 2000s in reality TV and I guess game shows and that kind of medium, and doing stand-up for at least 15 years or more. So I'm thinking his podcast is gaining ground, and that's how he's maybe gaining more visibility on YouTube, which is how he popped up in my feed. So after hours of binge watching his content and his guest appearances on other podcasts such as Tiger Belly and The Fighter and the Kid, which, by the way, who's the kid in that whole scenario? I think Brendan is the fighter, obviously. So I mean, like, who's the kid? But I think after a certain point, a person may need to update their nickname, but I digress. So I found that he had a Netflix comedy special, and so I sat down to watch it. And I have to be honest, I made it about halfway through. And even in that halfway, I took a few breaks to go do something else. It just wasn't great, in my opinion. He kind of comes across to me a bit like a jock douchebag, and after a while I just had enough. I'm sure he's updated his act, and it seems to be selling out everywhere, so maybe it's grown and gotten better. Or maybe it's his YouTube popularity that's driving the sales. I don't know. But I will say, though, that I think he is among a new batch or a new breed of stand-up comedians. This would include Bobby Lee, that Brendan guy. I think even Bill Burr is included in that group, although he is definitely, a star in his own right for sure, and he's been around for quite some time too. It started early himself in the whole podcasting arena, but there's definitely this new and up and coming batch of comedians, although many not new, that are heading for the stratosphere, and I think Theo is definitely at the top of the heap. It's definitely interesting to see how a person can be absolutely hilarious in one form of comedy and not at all in another. Again, I didn't find his stand-up funny whatsoever. I mean, there's maybe a laugh in there, but yeah, it was just off-putting to me, actually, especially when he's calling some rando a bitch. It just had this undertone or undercurrent of almost, I don't want to say hate, but just like, I don't know, anger, I don't know, something, but that's just my perception. It's that fine line, you know. Bitch can be used in a funny way, but there is this invisible line which can be crossed and it turns into something a bit ugly. And I kind of felt that way about his stand-up a little bit. I'm not opposed to the use of that word necessarily. Like, for example, how Chris Rock uses it in his old act where he says, bitch, stop effing, you know. That was funny because it had a bearing in truth and not hate. And that's one example of where the line can be found. But as far as his humor on his podcast, I would say you're in for a treat. It is really special. He is clearly influenced by Chris Farley, in so much as having a giant painting of Chris often featured in his podcast. And he has that same kind of dopey, silly, open, innocent manner of speech and outlook and presentation on the topics he chooses to talk about, including stories of his childhood that will make you cry with laughter. It's that good. I've watched some videos again and again, just holding my stomach and getting that good laughter workout. He's also very good at thinking on his feet, it seems, which is a definite absolute necessity for any stand-up comedian. He seems to have this as a natural asset. It can be an acquired skill too, but some have it and some don't, and he definitely has it in spades, I think. So again, he's from Louisiana, this little town called Covington, I think. I majored in journalism in college for a hot second, and about the only outcome from that is that I like to do some research on subjects or people who are of interest to me. And so I did a bit of research on Covington, and what I found interesting was that the people in the videos definitely did not have that same heavy sort of twang that Leo does, so I think he might emphasize that a bit for his comedy, but however, he has perfected it, that's for sure. It would be easy to lump him into the category of redneck comedy or redneck humor, but that would be misleading. He is too smart for that. He is actually college or university educated, and while it's easy to forget a lot of what is learned, a basic foundation is always there, and he does actually have a degree. So he's not some dumb redneck southern guy, and his humor reflects that, I think. No doubt he grew up poor, and a lot of the stories from his childhood are too detailed to be untrue, and what can I say? He's just a natural comedian and a seriously funny dude. So just again, how I do this is I pull pictures from the internet. I do not own them, and read what I see is written on a person's forehead or sometimes face. Depending on the picture, it could be what the person was going through at the time, or perhaps provide an understanding from an alternative viewpoint as to who they are, to me anyway. Or maybe there's a message I see, as in the Bobby Lee video. So anyway, let's get to it. So there are two things I expected to see in Theo's pictures, and I wasn't disappointed. I expected to see a lot of the male anatomy and a lot of crosses. If you watch his videos, you know this is something he struggles with. The dark arts, them dark arts. And then on the other hand is his love of God and Jesus and his religion. So I think this is something that really resonates with people because we all struggle with our own versions of dark and light and it is ultimately up to us which one we end up choosing. So for him to so hilariously document his own internal dialogues, struggles and experiences are something we can vicariously live through with him. So yeah, so I started with this first one here, obviously from his younger years, and sorry again, my computer's really kind of sucks, but so I don't have so this one is kind of a bit blurry, but anyway, you can see right smack dab in the middle of his forehead. When I first looked at it, to me, it was, you see how in this picture, he's sort of gone like, what? You know, that. And the guy on his forehead, or the image that I see on his forehead, is kind of doing the same thing. It's that sort of, what, you know, like, so again, it's sort of a bit of the showman aspect, like with Bobby Lee. Just kind of like me, you know, just trying to get himself out there, I think, at this point. And I don't know if it was, no, it definitely wasn't the Road Rules stage, so this is probably later. But he's definitely getting into the game at this point. It's kind of hard to see, but I do see a little star here as well. It's really hard to see, but it's sort of a little star or box. Actually, a lot of this looks like boxes. Like that sort of looks like a box too. That looks like box. Even this sort of looks a bit boxy. But, and to me, when I see the boxes, I think money. And so he's money baby at that point. So taking some from his, so again, so this one, there's a cross. That was the one that I saw immediately on this one. So definitely I expected to see that. And definitely we know that religion is important to him. So that's you can't see much else because of his bangs, and also it's a bit pixelated as well, but clearly the cross is right there. Bang, bang, bang. And that's, saw that on him too there. This one is a bit pixelated as well. And there's not much I can see on here. What struck me was the light, and to me that looks like I saw it and I just thought, oh, there's the male anatomy right there. But you can kind of still see a cross here. So it's definitely, again, I was not surprised to see that. But yeah. This is, again, another one with the light. And to me, it's like there's the male. The male anatomy again, just in the light. Yeah, so I was not surprised to see that. There was not much else. It also kind of looks, also there's a little face in there. What I saw on a couple of his pictures too was definitely the wolf or the fox, kind of like with Norm. But here's, like, I see also just sort of the fox in here. So that just means to me just very, and again here, I don't know if you see that, there's like a fox head or a wolf's head. So see, there's kind of the nose, there's the ears, ears. He has, oh, that's a cross. There's a little heart. There's a V, probably for just Vaughn, like he's trying to get his name out there at this point. There's another sort of V. Here also looks like a little cross. And there it looks like the, this kind of looks like a flower, like a rose or something. And the triangle. Some lot of triangles on his head, actually. This looks like this is another V. I would say at this point he's really concentrating on getting his name out there and just being recognized. There's a cross again. There's another cross. Another cross. What is this? This kind of looks like a male anatomy as well. V, so many V's. He's really trying to get his name out there at this point. V again. Cross. He's trying to, and two, kind of like with Bobby, like there's sort of bird imagery here to like he's trying to take flight. I think at this point he's trying to get his name out there and take flight. This to me here looks like kind of a climbing man, so he's trying to make his way up. See, this guy's, this sort of cross thing looks sort of bird-like too, but in the air, maybe this is an arrow going up. So he's headed up. V, oh boy, yeah. So this, at this point, what is on his mind, he's just trying to get his name out there. He's trying to get his name out there. He's trying to be recognized. And just, yeah, he's just thinking of himself at this point, just in trying to be seen and recognized as the Vaughn man. So this is another, I think this is kind of the same picture. So, yeah, I think that's the same picture. So he's still pretty young. Looks like he's in his 20s at this point. I think this is even younger. But again, oops. Again, what I saw immediately on his forehead was a picture of, just in the lighting, the male anatomy. Just, again, I was not surprised to see that. But I think that was the main takeaway. This is pixelated. So, in pretty much every picture, actually, you see that. See, there it is again. Yeah, and I wasn't surprised. I was not at all surprised to see that. I thoroughly expected to see it. Again, a bit pixelated. Hard to see, but just, yeah, the lighting again of that. And the male anatomy. Yeah, same thing. But, I mean, you can see the cross, too. Yeah. So, this one is kind of hard to see. But again, I see the male anatomy. It is combined sort of with the cross, so it's definitely clear that this is definitely something that he has struggled with. Maybe a Y. Or U? U? Y? Again, I sort of see the wolf here. So he is kind of like a little man with his arms up. Oh, the wolf again. So, yeah, oh, see that right there. There's the wolf. Boo, boo, boo. A lot of wolves on him. Maybe an A. Yeah, that's definitely the wolf. So I would say, I mean, he is just, yeah, that he's kind of, yeah, he's on the hunt at this point. He's trying to make his way. He's trying to, you know, just do what he can to be successful. And, yeah, this looks like an A for sure. And make his way up. It's, yeah, that's definitely the wolf or the fox. But I would say more of a wolf. So this is now, he is podcasting. And again, just with the lighting, the male anatomy there. It's predominantly cross. But even this is kind of looks to me like sort of a laughing, kind of like a bird's head, like eagle. Oh, is he maybe eagle? Okay. It's like an cross, like between an eagle and a man. And see, this is kind of like the body is sort of like the arms are up. So I'd say being an American is definitely important to him. Something he's proud of. There's the full eagle head. But within that, there's this sort of like guy, you know, like, or like just American, like that's this is his act at this point. Like, he's a proud American. He's just sort of this funny guy, like, you know, sort of got the arms out, so the showman sort of thing again, and another A. So I wonder who A is. But you see the eagle is clear as day here, so he's definitely a proud American. 100%. This kind of looks like a sideways male anatomy picture. I don't know. I definitely expected to see that. And it's almost in every picture. So this one, this sort of looks like an upside down V, little cross. Yeah, my computer really sucks. Anyway, kind of hard to see, but so this to me kind of looked like the male anatomy, but it also looks to me, actually it does, but it looks also like an arrow, like he is in an upward, he's moving up at this point in his career, he's going up. It's a triangle here. A triangle. Just a bit of a shady star too within that. But I see more of a pyramid kind of triangle here. Triangle, pyramid. I'm not sure what the triangle is necessarily. I would say maybe it's a form of enlightenment. His knowledge is growing at this point. And I think he's getting a better understanding of things. He's maybe learning more, doing more with his knowledge. Another triangle. But you see also the crosses here. Cross. Cross. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you watch his podcast, he's a spiritual guy. He definitely believes in God and Jesus, and that's something that he kind of struggles with. So, and this is, I think, the current one that he has on his Instagram, maybe. This looks like a little star. V is still trying to just get recognized, get his name out there. V. V, another V. This looks like a V too. But it kind of in this sort of like, it looks like a mushroom cloud, like maybe he's gonna sort of explode, but that could also be kind of male anatomy-ish too. Another cross. So yeah, another V down here. So yeah, he's still trying to get his name out there. Oh, he's got a star, right? Nice star right here. Not too many stars on him, but a lot of crosses and a lot of the male anatomy. So I think the sort of takeaway from Theo's forehead reading is that he is definitely invested in getting his name out there, becoming more recognized, and looks like he may just kind of blow up, so and become pretty big. So that would be great for him. He's again, he's a really funny guy. His podcasts are just so hilarious, and yeah, he's a little cutie. So anyway, so that's the forehead reading / face reading for Theo. Hope you enjoyed it. Gang, gang.